and now we can go live. Alright, I believe we're live.
We are live.
Terry's on.
Terry's on. That was quick. I was just texting him, so I'm sure he's sitting
Yeah, he's ready to
right
go.
by his thing.
Jody's on.
Hey, what's up, Jody? Uh-oh,
Well,
gotta turn the volume down. There we go.
So Eddie's on. Oh, Ed Hayes.
Ed Hayes.
Nice
sweatshirt. Yeah, imagine that.
Well, Ed
What?
got paid today, so.
What did Ed get paid with?
a t-shirt.
Oh, a t-shirt.
A
Okay,
t-shirt,
not a
yeah.
hoodie.
No. We don't have one of those in his size. There was only a couple of them.
Yeah, I'm going to go grab a t-shirt. It's not showing me how many people are on.
I got 57.
Okay, it's funny. It's not up in. You know what? I think one of the logos may be covering it.
Yeah, you may be having trouble seeing it.
No, I can see it when it's up in the corner.
You're just now sitting back down. That's what the lag is.
Oh, okay. You paid Ed with a shirt he was going to get anyway.
Yes, I did.
That's terrible.
Well, Ed got a hat too.
What hat?
The black and gray one. Oh.
65. All right, cool. Can everybody see and hear me okay? You've been down here tallying up votes for the... Hey, Tim, are the shank jaws available? I left a phone message. I couldn't find them when I looked on the website. What time is it?
Right now?
Yeah.
7:01.
Okay. Did you...
Did I what? Oh, yes, I did.
Okay. All right. So, who was that? Hold on. Let me go back. So, Rick, it's 7:01, 7:02 now. Wait about another 8 minutes. Hey, Mike, what's up? Loud and clear. Everybody can see and hear okay? Can you switch to the closed camera?
Yeah.
How about that? How does the closed camera look?
It's got to go down.
It's got to go down.
That's better.
Okay.
So, no, Terry, the other shirt did not do the
No.
gigantic logo in front of where the top fly was.
Now, I tried it. I did try to wear it, and when we looked at it on the camera, the fly, it got lost in the logo, so I had to go with the just blue, the March Madness blue. So, all right, what time is it? 7:02. We'll give it another couple minutes. Hey, Mike, what's up, bud? We're getting it shared out to a couple other groups. Little cameras in focus.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the big one.
All right, go back to the big one. Cool. So we're going to draw the next category. What does everybody want to see come out of the bucket, and what do people not want to see come out of the bucket? I want to see one of the legacy categories come out. I would love to see like Bob Popovics or Kelly Gallup and see what the guys can do with some of their patterns. I think that would be fun because it would be different patterns. You know, like not everybody would be tying a crayfish or a baitfish or whatever. I think that would be cool.
Terry Landry goes not a game changer.
Not a game. Oh, because yeah.
Oh, so Bob Popovics would be cool. I don't know. We've been doing bigger stuff. I want like a stonefly or something. I want people
big
to get
stonefly. Yeah.
like all the legs and the tails and stuff sticking out, and that way all these guys that tie those big streamer flies really get something like thrown at them, you know? Nobody in particular, just.
Yeah. Yeah, well, no, okay. All right. How many live do we have?
Well, given that we just got a website order, I think you need to announce
No, it was something else.
Oh.
Yeah. No stonefly. Ed says no stonefly.
It said no stonefly.
How many live do we have?
No, we need to announce it. It was 2 of those.
Oh, it was? Okay.
And there was a very limited stock.
All right. So the shank jaws are now live on the website. There's an email that's going to go out at 7:10, so in about 6 more minutes, that is going to announce that they're there. They're there. They're up. We don't have a ton of them packed and ready to go. We're working on that. We're working through some issues with one of our suppliers. Not me, by the way. I just want to make that clear. No issues with me in supply. It's something else. But they're there, so if you want them, hop on there and get them. And when they're sold out, they'll be sold out, and then we'll make them available again. So you're going to get an email shortly, but they're there.
Corey Kendrick said Tyler wants me to tie something tiny, and I'm pulling midge out of there tonight. I'm sticking my hand in and grabbing a midge.
There's no midge. So, all right, let's. I want to thank our sponsor. Our sponsor is the North Shore Fly Shop. They are in, and I'm going to butcher this to death, Balmoral, New Brunswick, Canada. Sorry, Terry. It's Terry Landry's shop. Terry is he's always on here every week. He just actually became one of our ambassadors. They are a Nor-vise dealer. He is open on evenings and Saturdays. The phone number is 506-829-9000. And Facebook, or the website is northshoreflyshop.ca. And the Facebook, you can just search North Shore Fly Shop and they will come up. A lot of good stuff in there. He's got a lot of Nor-vise stuff in there. So if you're in the area and you don't want to pay to have it shipped across the border, and that's one thing that he wanted to say, that they ship everywhere. So shipping, especially international shipping, kind of sucks right now. So you may get a better deal if you're in Canada, north of the border to go to Terry. So yeah, North Shore Fly Shop, 506-826-9000. They have agreed to, for every 50 shares, we're going to give away a 10-pack of Nor-vise spools. And if we hit a total mark of 325 shares during the live, we're going to pick a winner for a set of the new Nor-vise shank jaws. So that is all thanks to Terry and his wife at the North Shore Fly Shop. So thank you guys. One thing I do want to mention, and we had a little bit of a challenge with this last week. If you share the live and your page is private, you have to go back to this feed and say that you shared it. Because if your page is private, we have no way of knowing if you shared. And there was a gentleman whose name was not on the spinning wheel that Casey did to pick the winner for the jaws, and he messaged us, and I don't think he was upset. He was just kind of curious, and come to find out, his page settings were set to private, and he didn't go back onto this live feed and say that he shared it. So we have no way of knowing if you shared or not. So share early, share often. Every 50, we're giving away a pack of spools, and if we get to 325, we'll give away another Nor-vise shank jaw. So thanks to North Shore Fly Shop, Terry and his wife, and there you go. So let's get to tying. I do have a crayfish prep tonight, but I've been working on some little swing bugs, and when Braden was tying last week, I prepped a bunch of stuff and I tied some things. So we've got some new products that we're working with from Semperfly, and I want to do a couple of these quick little swing bugs here. So this is Semperfly's classic. This is actually 6/0 classic waxed, and the hook, it's a Daiichi. It's a 2441 salmon hook. Okay.
I have to go to the smaller camera. There we go.
Oh, there you go. All right, hold on. Let me put those hooks back up. There you go. 2441. This is size 8. This is a great hook for doing little swing bugs like this.
We've sold about 1/3 of the shank jaw stock already, so if you want yours, you better go get it. They'll be going by the end of the live at this rate.
There you go. If you heard Tyler, we sold about 1/3 so far. So, and there will be more. We're one part short, and they are they're actually in the last process, which we should have this week. And if we sell out, which it looks like we're going to, we'll have more up in about a week or so.
They're asking how long before we have the new jaws with a Magnum hub.
When this first batch runs out, and I have to do another run of these center spin hubs, I will do a run in Magnum. But that's probably not going to be for another couple of months anyway, because we've got a bunch of stuff that I need to run. So I've got
lead time right now is 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah.
If we ordered them today.
Lead time is 8 to 10 weeks, and that's the company that I manage, and I can't get my stuff through any faster than that because we are so busy. And every machine shop out there in the country is that way. So because I control the schedule at the company where I can typically get the Nor-vise stuff through in about 2 to 3 weeks, the best I can do is 8 weeks. So if I place an order tomorrow, I won't see the parts for 8 weeks, and I run the joint, so that'll tell you how busy we are. It's a good thing. I'm not. Oh, the email just went out. I'm not complaining, but it is what it is. So, all right. So I've got some 20,000 lead wire. I've tied it on to the front of the hook, and then I'm just going to put about 8 to 10 wraps on there. Very simple. Just spin it right on. Okay. Now I need to build a thread dam up. I want a smooth transition from the hook to the lead. So I'm just going to take and I'm going to spin the vise, and I'm just going to work this thread up and down and up and down and up and down. And now I've got a nice smooth transition from the shank of the hook to the lead. Now with these salmon style hooks, these up-eye salmon hooks, you don't typically go all the way back to the barb because it has kind of like a gradual bend there. So you typically will stop the pattern at about the point of the hook. And you'll notice I do have my shank jaws in. I've got my shank jaws in with my standard front hub, so I'm using them as an inline fine point. And you can immediately see the benefit of that. You can see how much more access I have to the back or the bend of this hook. If this was the standard inline jaw, all of this back here would be covered up. So, all right, I've got this is what color is this? It is a light tan, I believe it is, spotted guinea feather. We're going to use this. We're actually going to use it for the tail and for the collar. So I'm just going to take a healthy, these are easy flies to tie. Let me get a little bit more than that. And I'm going to line them up, and I'm going to pull them off the stem. Okay, so this is going to be a caddis. Caddis typically, they've got a little bitty tail, so I typically will measure about the gap of the hook, which is right here. And I'll transfer the material. And there's my tie-in point, and I will go one soft wrap, one medium wrap, and one hard wrap. And that will walk my tail right up on top of the shank. Now I'm just going to kind of latch these down, and I don't want to cut this off. I want to use this part of the feather to build up some bulk in the underbody. And we're going to call it good right there. Look at the orders coming in.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so now we're going to use a new product from Semperfly, and it's called Quick Dub. Okay, so it's basically like a mohair thread or something along those lines. And we've actually had this stuff for a while. And I told Tyler last year, do not take that stuff to the shows because this kind of takes away from our demo of doing the dubbing on the vise. But I do like playing with new materials, and I do like kind of working on new patterns. So, and this stuff is cool. This is called Cream. They've got it in a whole bunch of colors. This one is, what the hell's that? It's called Graphite, right? So it's kind of a gray color, and they have a whole bunch of different colors. And if you like, they have another product, and it's called Straggle String, and it's like a small, like a real small fine estaz. And this product would work well for this pattern as well. But we're going to use this this quick dub stuff, and it's cool because it has like some gold. There's some gold tones in it, and it has a little bit of flash without going overboard. So we're going to tie that in. Throw a half hitch, and go onto the cradle. And now you just take this.
Half of the shank jaws are gone.
And you wrap it up.
Just so you guys know.
And when you get to, you can start kind of pulling this fuzzy stuff back. But you want your wraps to lay right next to one another. And wrap it a couple, 3-4 times. Stroke them back. Get up here to the front. Okay, and then I want it to be tapered a little bit, so I want it bigger up at the front than I do at the back. So now I'm just going to wrap back over top, about halfway, and then stroke these back a little bit, wrap back forward, and there is your super easy dubbed, but not dubbed, caddis body. So now we'll get this tied off, and I'll go through behind, 3 in front, clip it off, and then I'm going to come in here with this Velcro brush that Tony Muncie sent me, and I'm just going to brush this out, and I just want this thing to be kind of ratty with fibers going everywhere. And it's a super easy way to get a really cool looking caddis body. Alright, now for our hackle. Again, I'm going to use the same feather that I used for the tail. I don't know why my stomach's growling, because I just ate dinner. Okay, we're going to peel all the fuzzy stuff off. Okay, and I'm going to measure this. I want this to go back about half of the body. So a lot of these longer fibers for this fly are too long, so I'm going to pull them off. It's still a little bit long. Yeah, let me get a smaller feather. Try that one.
You just wasted a perfectly good guinea feather.
Yeah, I did. It's weird. This
they
pack
grow
is,
more of them every day.
They're all the feathers are. There's no big ones or small ones. They're all like medium, and they're all the same size.
That was perfect when I was tying swinging D's though, because
and for some things it's good. For other things it's like this, when you're trying to size a hackle, it makes it tough.
What size salmon hook?
It is a here. I'll show you the hook here in a second when I get done prepping this feather. And I will throw these on my 2/3 weight micro spay and just swing them like you would swing a normal wet fly, and they are absolutely killer.
And what brand is that? Because if we talk about rods, we should probably mention them.
It's the TFO
Pro 2.
Pro 2. Yep. They make a 2.3 and a 3.4. We've got both of them. I use the 2.3 when I'm swinging like smaller wet flies and stuff, and if I'm swinging bigger streamers, I'll use the 3.4. So there's my prepped feather. Okay, and I'm going to tie it in by the tip. and throw a half hitch and go on the cradle. And now my good Hackle pliers are packed away for a demo that we're doing next week. Yeah, we'll be in, where are we going to be next week? Waynesboro?
Waynesboro, Virginia.
Waynesboro, Virginia at South River Fly Shop. Is that what it's called? Yeah. And we'll be doing a Nor-vise demo day there on Saturday. Alright, so I kind of stroked those fibers back, and now I'm just going to wrap this hackle forward. And every time I do a wrap, I'm going to stroke the fibers back. You don't need a lot of this. Actually, too much is a bad thing. You want about 3 wraps on there. And now I'm just going to let that hang. And with the auto bobbin, I'll come behind. And I'll get 3 behind, 2, 3, 3 in front. Now I can clip the stem off. Okay. And I got one little gnarly fiber there, and we'll fold him back.
So we got a question. Have you used other micro spay rods and just feel yourself using the TFO? Like it?
Well,
is that
we're
what you settled with, or?
Yes and no. I have thrown a lot of micro spay rods. I am a TFO ambassador, as is Tyler, so that obviously comes into play. I do like the Pro 2 rod. I like that it flexes very similar to like a full size spay rod when you're casting it. I've owned and thrown a bunch of Loomis rods. I have owned and thrown a bunch of Echo rods. They're all good in certain ways. We choose to stay with TFO for a variety of reasons. Number one, they're a great company to deal with. Number two, it is that their products are quality products, and it's something that a guy can go and buy a rod and reel set up, and then he can go home and look his wife in the eye and not have to lie to her about how much he spent on a rod. So there's a lot of pluses to it. But it is, aside from, if I was not a TFO ambassador, I would have absolutely no problem at all owning and fishing that rod. So you can see I built the head up, and I've got some Solarez bone dry here, and we're just going to come in here and just paint just a little bit, just enough to darken that head up. And then we'll spin the vise just to kind of distribute that around the head and hit it with the torch. And there you go. That is a very simple, very easy little caddis swing bug that you can tie, and it just catches fish everywhere. There you go. Somebody had a question about the hooks. It's a Daiichi 2441, and this one is in a size 8. Okay.
I don't feel like waiting to the end. Let's do some of that March Madness.
I'm going to do it now, yeah. All right, so the March Madness brackets, the second round brackets just closed. There were some phenomenal battles in there. I have the winners here. From the left side bracket, advancing, we have Kevin Kennard, Damian Welsh, Jody Severance, Joshua Phoenix, Don Corey, Ed Hayes, Jock Scott, and Corey Kendrick. On the right side, we have advancing Jay Rock, Justin Lovell, Brittany Davenport is into the quarterfinals. Steve and Dallas. Now, Britt and Steve have been pulling for each other, and now they're going to go against one another in this round, so I can't wait to see that one. Braden Miller, Terry Landry, Grant Alvis, and Sal Vetti. And who was Sal going against?
Brian Farmer?
Was it Brian Farmer? Okay.
Yeah.
And we were there were 2 that were really close, and we were watching them right up to the end. If it's, if the votes are 120 to, 10, I'm not really concerned about, the voting and all that, because it's not really going to change that much. But we actually had alarms set on our phone for 24 hours after a couple of the brackets were posted, and Sal Vetti won by 4 votes, and they were a lot, weren't they? In the high 2s, like 200 and
They were low twos. It
Oh,
was
low
like
twos,
215 to 211 or
215 to
something.
211, something like that. But
and
4
then after
votes.
it ended, they bounced back and forth
Yeah.
3 times afterwards.
Yeah, and when it's closed, we put we can't shut them off. Like, we can't stop people from liking the pictures. So we put a note up that says voting closed, but a lot of times people don't see it and they keep voting. So they've been going back and forth probably up until now. But 24 hours, 4 votes, man, that was awesome. So these are the guys that are advancing, and guys and girls that are advancing. And I'm going to draw right now so that some of the people that are in different time zones can either get to bed or get to thinking about what they're tying. So here's the votes.
Yeah, we waited till 10 o'clock our time.
Yeah,
There's guys that got to be up at 6.
Yeah, Braden tied. Go back to the big camera.
Oh, yeah.
Braden tied a very long fly, and then it took us a while for us to get on. There's the votes. You can see them in there. I'm going to shake them. I'm going to stir them up.
Stonefly.
I still want to see a legacy, but we've had 2
like styles.
No, they were foods. They were food sources, bait fish and crayfish. So I'd like to see if we get into a different category. So I'm mixing them up, and I can't see. I'm going to draw, and then I'm going to show the camera. There it is. And it is...
Oh, I feel sorry for those Canadians.
Redfish and red drum.
Oh,
Redfish or red drum.
Oh, man.
So any pattern that you would use to catch a redfish or red drum, that's what we're going with this week.
That's a curveball. That's a weird one.
That is kind of weird. But there are some cool patterns. And, redfish eat little crustaceans and little crabs.
We'll go from a crayfish to
crabs. I know. So
yeah, I'll throw that out.
There ain't no mean faces that have gone across yet. So
Not yet.
No. Come on, legacy. Yeah, now I want to see a legacy too. I really want to see one of the legacy categories. All right. So let's switch up here. I want to switch my jaws, and we're going to do a different pattern.
Braden's got gears turning in his head. He's like, I throw big game changers for redfish.
Yeah. All right, so now I'm going to go to the center spin hub because I'm going to tie this next one on a shank.
Terry Landry and Britt Davenport, what's a redfish?
What's a redfish? There ain't no salt where y'all live.
Don Corey's like, redfish?
Redfish.
These northerners are going to have a problem.
It's cool.
I have a problem. I'd have been out already.
Oh, I'd have got smoked in the second round, I think. What's a redfish? That's funny. Thank you for drawing the category. You're welcome. That's part of the reason why we did it now.
Brian Kosminski replied to Brittany. He goes, fake saltwater carp.
There you go. There you go.
Yep.
All right. So now, being it was crayfish last week,
2 rounds full of brown flies.
I'm going to tie up a crayfish fly. And this one's on a shank. And bear with me because I have not tied this pattern for a while. And I did not practice tie tonight because I was too busy watching the March Madness. All right, so this is a 27 millimeter aqua flies. Now I've switched these jaws up and I've put them in the center spin hub, and I'm going to hold this shank on center using the grooves that are machined into the jaws.
Justin Lavelle's got a face palm emoji.
Justin's doing good.
His crayfish was cool.
His crayfish, yeah, it was good. It was good. There was a lot of cool stuff in that one. I liked Sal Vetti that he did the rubber claws on the crayfish. I thought that was creative.
Joshua Phoenix Fed's cray came
was
out
good.
Really good too.
All right, so let me. Am I going to switch thread? Yes, I am. I am. Get that one off of there. So this is Semperfly, it's classic, waxed, and this is a 6/0 as well. All right, one thing that we don't want to forget is our loop. And I actually remember when I did the intruders, last week. I was tying a couple more after, and I did one, and I forgot to put the loop on it. So I'm using 30-pound fire line.
Brittany already posted on her personal Facebook. Okay, who
fishes for redfish?
I need fly ideas.
That's
pronto.
funny. That's funny. Yeah. All right, let me get this back. I've got about 3/16 of an inch of the shank inside the jaws, and then that we'll just leave that there. It can stay there. We're not going to tie on that. I used to clip it off because that little bit of bare shank sticking out kind of bothered me, and now honestly I don't care. Okay, now, just like last time, I'm going to take some loose spiral wraps. I want to try to keep this on the top of the shank. So don't forget, share early, share often. Every 50 shares we're giving away, well, we're not giving away, North Shore Fly Shop is giving away a 10-pack of spools. And if we get to 325 total shares, we'll give away a Nor-vise shank jaw. So I've got my loop on, and I put some wraps on top of it, loose wraps just to get it lashed down. Now I'm going to fold it back over. And this is one thing that I like about the fire line. You can, when you do this step, you can fold it a lot easier and a lot tighter. And then I'm going to take some loose wraps back to about here. So now I've got it doubled over on top of itself. I can cut this off. And I'm going to come in here with just a little zap gap. This is a super simple crayfish pattern. It's kind of a blend between, Greg Senyo has a pattern that's called a sway cray, and he'll swing it for steelhead. And then Kelly Gallup has a crayfish pattern that's called a Nancy P, and it's kind of a blend between the two. So now I got some glue on there, and I'll just lay down a little bit of thread. And that's not going anywhere.
Hey, Jake Jordan's watching. Hey, Jake.
Hey,
Jordan.
Jake, what's up, bud?
Jake has a top fan badge.
For Nor-vise?
For Nor-vise. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. All right. So our first material is going to be brown Arctic fox. Actually, yes, it is. Our first material is going to be brown Arctic fox. Almost had a bit of a brain fart there, but I didn't.
I think you had a brain fart thinking you had a brain fart.
Well, it's possible. Got a lot of stuff going on. Okay, and I've just clipped out a clump about the size of a matchstick, and I'm going to pull the underfur out. I like Arctic fox. I really like Arctic fox. It has a lot of body without a lot of bulk to it. Like marabou is good, but when it gets wet, it kind of mats down. Whereas this stuff will kind of keep some of its body that it has. And I'm just going to measure this. We're not going to use a lot. Yeah, about right there.
Terry Landry says, I got this. Well, he's going to make a deer hair red fish. It's going to be a red fish fly.
Well, as long as it's...
Don Corey, I think they eat wolf patterns.
Alright, so I'm going to put that on. And I'm just kind of using my thumb to kind of distribute that around the shank. Okay. Now we're going to flip it over. Going to take another clump of this. Did anybody have any questions about the first fly, the little swing bug that I did?
There was a couple like thread color ones, and I just said brown or tan.
Brown. It's kind of like a burnt orange. It was I don't know what the name of it is, but that's the thread that I use. So like an autumn orange or a burnt orange, or if you're a Nor-vise fan, a sunset orange, Legacy C. It's that kind of color. And you could tie this on a hook. I'm choosing to tie it on a shank because I got all my shank stuff out because that's what I've been tying on. And I'm going to measure this bottom clump up about the same, just right there. Change hands, and I'm going to put a couple loose wraps, and I'm going to put it up on the hook. Now I take my thumb, and I'm just going to kind of push it right in the middle. And what I want to do is kind of smush that around so that I've got about 360 degrees covered. And I've got a little open spot here. That's what's kind of cool about this, is you can always, if you don't get full coverage on it, you can always...
would mallard be a suitable replacement for guinea for that?
Yeah, it would.
You won't get like the same bars, but
yeah, you could absolutely switch mallard out for that, and it would be fine. Mallard is usually it's a lot longer than guinea, so you have to sort through your feathers to find one that's going to be short enough. Now, if you wanted to tie, a longer hackle and have it go all the way back to the tail, and if you wanted to tie a longer tail, you absolutely could, and that's, it's kind of the beauty of fly tying is there are no rules, at least from my point of view. So now we've got that Arctic fox all the way around the shank of the hook. I've got it wrapped down, and then I'm just going to come in here and clip these out. But yeah, you could use mallard. You could do the same pattern with partridge if you could find the right size. So there's a lot of different things that you could do. But
pheasant.
You could do pheasant for the tail, and then you could use a pheasant rump feather for the collar if you wanted to. All right, now am I missing the material? Oh, there it is right there. I got it out, and then like a moron, I put it away. Okay, so this is just 15-pound bulk monofilament. And I'm going to tie that in on the side. And I come in here and clip my little tag end off. And I'm going to put this down inside the jaws so that it will be out of my way when I spin it. If I had my material clip on, I could put it in there as well, but I don't on this hub, so I'll just slide it down through there. And that'll keep it out of the way for me. Okay, so I've got that. Now I'm going to put just a little bit of flash on here. I've got this cool, this is Flashaboo copper hollow flash. Super, super cool color. Doesn't take a lot. I've got about, 4 strands here. And get out of there. And I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to double it over. And I'm going to cut it again. Can you hear my stomach growling over there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know why. I literally just ate dinner. And we're going to fold this in, and I'm just going to tie this in right in on top. Just gives us a little flash, and then I want to try to kind of, it's not going to go all the way around the shank, but I do want to kind of distribute it just a little bit. Now we're going to trim this, so don't get too excited about it, that it's super long right now. Okay, now I'm going to come up, and I want it just a little bit longer than the Arctic fox, and I don't want them all trimmed at the same length, so I'm going to kind of come in here and grab a little bit, a couple little strands at a time, and trim them so that they're different lengths. And that's a little bit long there. That one out. There you go. Might be a little much on the flash, but okay. Black barred medium rabbit strips. Oh, here's one that I've already been working with. Okay. And we're looking for something about 1 inch long, maybe a little bit longer. Funny thing about crayfish is when people tie them, and myself included, they always make the claws like the most prominent feature of the fly. And if you actually look at a crayfish and you look at the proportions of the crayfish's claws versus the rest of the body, the claws are actually, even on a big crayfish, are small compared to the rest of the body. Now, I've been tying crayfish patterns for a long time, and my claws are always like gargantuan, the most predominant thing on the pattern, and I saw that in the contest as well. But the reality is, if you look at it in relationship to the size of their body, their claws are actually small.
Terry Landry's calling me out. He's like, I heard your comment about us Canadians and redfish.
Oh, he's a sponsor, so be nice.
Do I have to?
Yes. All right, so I've got 2 of these cut. They're cut. Actually, I don't want that one because the fur's not laying right. I'm going to trim them to the same length. And that'll be about right there. Okay, now on one side, on the back side, now you can see these are standard rabbit strips. So the hair is going parallel with the leather strip of skin on the bottom. If they were cross-cut, which you would not use for this application, the fur would be coming off perpendicular to the leather strip on the bottom. But these are standard, and they're going to come off parallel. So I'm going to take the back, which is, you can see they're angled this way. So this is what I'm calling the front, this over here, and this is what I'm calling the back. So this would be the back, this would be the front. On the back, I'm just going to reach in and peel just a very little bit of the fur off. And this is going to be my tying point. And I'm going to do that on both of them. Get off. Now, again, here's another scenario where the 90-degree indexing of the vise comes in. I can just index it over and lock it. Now I know I'm right on the side of the shank. And I'm going to lay this right up against my tying point, and I'm going to get a loose wrap on there, medium, and then a tight one. And the one cool thing about tying in with rabbit, the fur underneath is usually really soft, so it's really easy to get it to bite. You don't have a lot of sliding around and that kind of stuff. So now we're going to do the same thing. So I've indexed around to the other side. So now I know that I'm right on the side of my hook shank, and I'm going to lay this up here. Get my thread down there, and I'm going to do a loose one, medium, position it, and then we're going to do a tight one. Okay, and there you can see the claws and the head portion of the crayfish starting to form. Okay, now root beer Estaz. Believe it or not, as far as crayfish patterns go, we're kind of coming down the home stretch.
You tied that in first? But you tied the feather in first.
It doesn't matter. You can I probably could switch and tie the feather in.
Alright, we're at 150 shares. So we are not even halfway to getting the shank jaw, guys.
Now we really want to get in Terry's pockets, so start sharing.
See, you just told me I had to be nice. He goes, come on, Tyler, I can take it. Like Dad said I have to be nice.
Okay, so being Tyler thinks I should tie the feather in first, so this is 5 to 7 inch schlappen in fiery brown.
My OCD was bothering me.
A lot of brown in this pattern. I do like the fact that Terry's crayfish was blue, and there are strains of crayfish that have a blue kind of tint to them. And we have one in the Susquehanna, and you don't see a lot of them, but when you see it, you're looking at it, and you're like, holy, like that crayfish is blue. Like, it's not, hey, it's kind of blue, or it looks like it's blue. The thing is blue. There is no doubt about it. So that's kind of cool. A lot of people don't know that, or maybe have never seen that there are crayfish out there with a kind of a blue tint to them.
We've got a black and blue version that we keep in the boxes that we've got a fair amount of big smallmouth on.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to prep this feather. I'm going to fold it back. We're going to tie it in by the tip.
So, and guys, if you're watching this, make sure to either like the video or heart react to the video. Facebook has jacked up their algorithms, so we are not reaching the same number of people that we would have, say, 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you do that, it shows engagement with the post, and it helps us reach more people, so we can show more people what's going on with Nor-vise and how to tie the flies and everything else. So, if you're watching it, give us a like, or if you could, a heart react is going to help us out more.
Yeah, it's funny that that little red heart does more for the algorithm than the like button does. Last week when Braden was tying, I would just hit like 100 hearts. I would just sit there and keep hitting it, keep hitting it, keep hitting it. Of course, he did tie for 2.5 hours last week. Wait a minute, did I say that out loud? All right, so there's the schlappen feather that's tied in. Then we're going to tie in this this root beer staz. Get my thread up here.
So you want to know how many shank jaws we have left?
0.
19.
19 total?
19 total left.
Wow. Somebody's going to be busy packing orders tomorrow. We're going to have to do some of that tonight. I know, we're going to have to do some of it tonight. She is going to be hot. All right, so even with the shank jaw, we still have the small material clip on there. So I'm going to put my feather in that. Okay, now
Brian Kosminski said he has 5 crayfish in his aquarium, and when they molt, they develop like large bluish spots on their thorax before they shed the shell.
Yeah, and if you read Klauser's book, he actually tinted crayfish, and their claws have it, like the tips of their claws have a really bright, like almost the shade of this this vice blue. All right, now if you look, you can see where I've tied all this stuff in the front. We've got an Arctic fox, we've got the flash, we've got the claws and all that. You can see I've got kind of this wicked hump going here. And if I wrap this staz on it, just wrap it straight back, I'm going to get a funky kind of shape to the body. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to wrap this.
Wow, I just Googled it.
Oh, the blue crayfish?
Well, it's popping up with a bunch of blue lobsters, but yeah, blue crayfish too.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm going to wrap this down the taper, and then I'll wrap to what's going to, in theory, be my tying point. And it's not as bad, but you can still see it. Okay, now I'm just going to wrap forward.
Oh, we're getting questions about the...
And wrap back.
Move the microphone. Brady said he could barely hear a word you said because it was muffled. I don't know, move it closer to you.
I don't know, it's right where it always is.
But we were getting questions about the t-shirt and sticker you held up at the beginning.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let me tie this off. So I went up and down, and basically I used the material to even out that kind of nasty little hump that I had in the body. There, the receiver's right there.
Yeah, but you had a bunch of stuff on top of the actual microphone. I want to make sure that it can broadcast to my USB thing to pick it up.
All right, so I've got my staz tied off. Take a couple little, there's some fibers there that I got to get back out of the way.
Here, turn that thing off and turn it back on. A lot of people are saying there's audio issues.
Okay, all right, hold on a second. All right, let me turn it off. It says it's fine.
Yeah, well,
How about now?
all right, my audio capture looks good on my end, so even when I'm talking.
All right, is it better? Somebody give me a thumbs up. Can you hear me? Let me know. Seems to be fine now. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I've wrapped the staz, which is going to be my underbody. Now I'm going to take the schlappen feather, and we're just going to walk it right back through that staz. And I don't want to wrap over top of anything, so we're going to stroke it back.
Getting a bunch of yes and thumbs up. So
Okay, cool.
I don't know if it was me moving it or on and off or whatever. But
It did it one other time. I was doing a presentation, and it kind of and it kind of conked out. And then
It's technology.
I shut it off and turned it back on, and it was fine. Yep. Come here. I need to find the stem. There we go. I'm getting myself in trouble here.
Yeah, people were saying it was more like distortion than
Okay.
like being muffled, so it could have been the
All right.
wireless broadcast.
It could have been anything. It's fixed now, so. All right, I put a little bit too much feather on there and I was running out, so.
Casey's like, I hope you gave the fastest packer in shipping out there advanced warning the Shankjaw was being released. I don't think we told her. I don't think she knows.
Yeah, we didn't tell her. So
You're in trouble.
No, I'm not. I am not.
Well, I know I'm not.
So my wife does all the packing and stuff for the orders for the website and for our dealers and all that. And she's upstairs. She hasn't been feeling great today, so she's been kind of laying down, and she does not know that we released the Shankjaw. So, all right, there we go. So we'll just take that, and I'm just going to brush out this schlopping. Okay, now remember this. All this is going to do, it's just going to be a rib, and I'm just going to counter wrap it, and I'm just going to kind of wiggle it through the schlop in there so I don't catch any of the fibers, and I can use my bodkin. This is, you could do it with wire if you wanted to. I'm doing it with mono. This is pretty important on this pattern, because if there's anything that's going to blow on this, it's going to be the hackle.
So, are the shank jaws made for one specific shank in mind, like aqua shanks? They'll work with.
They will hold any shank.
So, the initial design was for a straight shank for like an intruder style fly. They hold them. They hold the flyman fish spines. They have the microfish spines. They hold the big game shanks. I haven't found a shank that I tie on yet that it does not hold well.
And it'll hold hooks, as you saw in the first. And if we have time, I'll spin up another little swing bug here. Now we're just going to build a head. Just right there. Cut that off. Now I'm going to come in here with my Solares bone dry. And we're going to coat that head. This you would definitely have to throw on a bigger spay. A good caster could get it done on that 3 to 4 weight. I would probably seriously want to think about a 5 weight for this fly. But trout, steelhead, everything that swims in the water eats crayfish. Okay. And there you go. There's a... Ow, that thing is hot. That thing is hot.
I just got a message from Buzzy. Tell your dad stop showing off. He's really good behind the vise and explains it well.
So there's a pattern. Like I said, it's kind of a hybrid between a Greg Senu pattern that's called a Sway Cray, and then Kelly Gallup has a pattern that's called a Nancy P. And it's kind of a hybrid between the two. So there you go. Had I been entering the contest, I probably would have entered this fly. I probably would have dressed it up. I'd have put eyes on it, and I maybe would have put a shell back on the top. But for a fishing fly, that's it. All right, questions on that?
We still have questions about the T-shirt and the sticker.
Oh, the T-shirt and the sticker. I'm sorry. All right, so I held this up earlier. Big camera.
Terry Landry's messaging me pictures of redfish flies in his box now. So
Okay. So there's the official Nor-vise March Madness decal. And there's the official Nor-vise March Madness shirt. There's the front. There's the back with all the sponsors. So for all you guys that are in the contest, when you registered, there was a box you may remember for your t-shirt size. So everybody that was in the contest, whether they went out in the first round or they won the thing, you're going to get a t-shirt and a decal. We did buy extras. We did buy a few extras, not a lot. So once we get it out to all the people that are on the that are in the contest, and then once I get all the ones out of there that I want, because my whole wardrobe is literally Nor-vise t-shirts, then we'll put them out up on the site to sell. We're probably going to have about 35-ish to sell, and follow us on social media, get on the mailing list, and when we put them out to sell, you guys will know. So hopefully we'll do this. We're going to do it every year. Part of what we're doing, this is the fly that is in this logo is the fly that won last year. Jock Scott tied that fly. It's called the Star of Hope, and we used it for the logo. So whatever fly wins this year is going to go into the logo for next year's contest. So it's another fun thing we're doing to give the winner recognition. All right, so remember, North Shore Fly Shop, 506-826-9000, northshoreflyshop.ca, and Facebook search North Shore Fly Shop. Every 50 shares, he's giving away a 10-pack of Nor-vise spools, and if we get to 325, we're going to give away a new set of shank jaws. And Terry's located up in New Brunswick, so if you're north of the border and you need some Nor-vise product or any of the other great products that he has in the shop, contact him.
They can get polar bear up there.
Yeah, contact him, and then you're not going to pay to have it shipped across the border. And then, like I said, shipping is bad, so it's taking a really long time. All right, so we are at 7:55. You guys want me to spin out another one real quick? I got one more quick little bug I can spin out if somebody just give me a yes or a no. Please give me a yes or a no. That's a heck of a delay, man. I see a bunch of hearts. That's good. All right, well, I'm going to do it. Nobody's answering. I'm going to make a...
With as quick as it is, with that delay, you'd have been half done.
I'm going to make an executive decision and do it. So I'm going to pop the jaws out. I'm going to pop my center spin hub off. Yes. Okay, there they are, yes. All right. So I'm going to pop on my Magnum front hub, and I'm going to throw my jaws back in. Okay, so I've been very upfront about my goal to only fish with a two-hander for trout this year. And like I said, it's not 100% feasible for some of the waters that I fish, but I'm going to try it as much as I can. So one of the patterns that is super popular in my area for trout, and it's super popular pretty much anywhere, and you guys have all seen it, it's called the Green Weenie. Right? And it's basically just a little loop of chenille and a chenille body. So, taking that into the world of swing bugs, we are going to tie the swinging weenie.
Hey, Nate Miller's watching. He replied, "Yes, please," to tie another one.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, sorry, Nate. This is going to be a letdown, bud, but it's not
You'd probably catch a steelhead on it.
You would catch a steelhead on it. You'll catch a trout on it too, but it's not some super cool, Euro nymph or something with that he's going to win a competition with. But
we'll catch a gigantic pellet pig on one with Braden next Sunday.
We do appreciate him watching. All right, so just like I did on the first one, this is chartreuse 6/0 classic waxed Semperfli thread. I'm going to put a little bit of 020 lead on here. Drop that down to the bottom. Throw a half hitch. one in my cradle, and then I'm going to put about 10 wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look at that. 88 out the gate. Whammo.
Buzzy goes, "You're the best, Tim. I want to tie like you." This is one of the best live series out there.
Fucking Buzzy.
You just...
What?
You said a bad word.
No, I didn't. I said frickin' Buzzy.
That is
I
not
did
what
not.
I heard.
No, I did not.
Done
I
it.
did not.
FCC is going to start
I did
regulating
not.
our lives.
Nope, I did not. Now I'm going to build a ramp up. This is similar to the very first pattern that we did. All right, there's my transition. Now I'm going to get some medium chartreuse chenille.
Ben Cleveland goes, "He did." Apparently the mic didn't have any disruption
Really?
on that
Well,
one.
If I did, I apologize. It is not something that I like to do for sure.
There's young people like Braden.
So I've stripped the core, and I've stripped the fuzzy chenille part off of the core, and I've exposed the white section is the core. That's what I'm going to use to tie in. So I'm just going to, again, soft wrap, medium wrap, hard wrap, and that'll walk it right up on the shank of the hook. And for you guys just starting out, thread tension is a big thing in the world of fly tying, and that controls where our materials go. It also can make the materials go where we want them. It could also make them go where we don't want them. So work on your thread tension. That's a very important thing to master. So now I just made a little loop, and you have to tie a couple of hundred of these things to get the size of the loop.
Braden goes, "I'm forever scarred now."
Yeah, okay. So the loop is it's kind of like the center portion of your finger. I don't really know how to explain it other than it's really a feel thing, and you don't want too big of a loop because it'll spin, it'll twist your tippet when you cast. And if you're going to put a loop on, you don't want it microscopic. So you really just have to tie a bunch of these things just to get a feel for how big the loop is on the back. And then I'm going to tie this in because I don't want that ugly spot. And I'm going to work my way up, lashing that core down to the shank of the hook. Come up here to the front, throw a half hitch. Okay, now this carded chenille, and I would, if I was, when I was tying these at the shop, we would buy the chenille in bulk, and it was bulk. It was a big thing. But this carded chenille, where it wraps around the cards, you'll get these kind of dead spots in the chenille, and it's when it goes over and it bends it into 90 degrees, it creates this, like that one right there that you can see, that kind of dead spot. So a way to get around that before you wrap your body is to take the chenille and twist it. Okay, now don't go crazy because you can break it, but if you twist it, it will kind of cover up that funky dead spot from the card, and then you'll get a much smoother body when you wrap it. So just like with the buggers and some of the other stuff that we do, you've got to navigate around the point of the hook. So when you get to here, you want to come out and around the point and then come back perpendicular and wrap it, and that will cover up that kind of ugly spot right here. What a lot of people will do is they come out and they angle the material to get around the shank of the hook, and they hold that angle and start wrapping forward, and then it leaves that little ugly spot at your tying point. So you want to come around the shank of the hook, come back to perpendicular, and then wrap it right next to each other, right up the shank of the hook. Okay, now see how nice and smooth that body looks? And let me get a hold of it here. 3 behind, 3 in front. And then we'll come here and I'm going to clip it off. Okay, and then I've got this is a whiting hen saddle. Okay, and I'm looking for the feathers change size. They're smaller up here and bigger as you get down. So I want something in this area. That's about the size that I'm looking for. So I will pick one, which is, it looks like a winner right there. And we'll pull all the fuzzy stuff off. That looks like about the right size, or the right length, I should say. that back. And I'm going to cut this end off. And this is our tie-in. This is what we're going to tie in with, that little kind of arrowhead right there. And we'll throw half it. Oop, get over there. And I need my Bobo Hackle pliers. We started packing for the demo day next week, and a lot of my tools that are usually here on my bench are in the travel bin ready to go.
So what you're saying is not unpacking from the last demo day is considered packing for the next demo day?
Yep, exactly.
When everything stays in the bin because we don't have time to actually tie flies anymore?
I've actually been tying some flies.
Yeah,
I tied a bunch
when
Braden was tying last week. I was sitting down here and I'm like, well, he's tying a game changer. I'll bang out about 30 of these little swing bugs while he's tying that. So there's my hackle.
The group live things have been great too, because it makes you like get to hang out with people when Brittany hosts those big lives.
Mm-hmm.
But you can sit down and we actually make time to tie flies.
Yeah, the last one she hosted, it was for the Nor-vise tires page. So if you're not a member of the Nor-vise tires page, that's Mike Hawkins' page, and it's not exclusively to Nor-vise tires, but it's kind of dedicated to, and it's a great place to get information, or if you have any questions. People will post stuff up. Our ambassadors are on there. They can answer on our behalf or tag me, and typically you'll get an answer very, very quickly if you have a question. And it's a great resource. Just build up a little head there. And I did this pattern, and people laughed at it, and that's fine. You can laugh all you want. If you're fishing over stock trout and you want to throw a two-hander, swing this thing through, and they will absolutely hammer it. And we'll get a little bit of Solares bone dry there on the head. Sponsor of the March Madness, by the way, as is Semper Fly.
Yeah, we just got a prize pack from Solar.
Yeah, we did.
Tell you, they hooked you guys up.
Okay, and I'll spin the vise just to kind of get that stuff distributed. Spin it, hit it with the torch, close your eyes, and there you go. That is the swinging weenie. So if anybody ever asked, have you seen a green weenie that was tied as a swing bug? There you go. So, all right, guys, it is a little bit after 8 o'clock. We'll hang out here if you have any questions. Remember, thank Terry Landry and his wife, and his wife's name escapes me right now, and I apologize. North Shore Fly Shop up in, I'm going to do it again.
Oh, Terry Landry's.
Well,
he goes, next Zoom, you should be there. We still don't know if you get tie at all or not.
Oh.
I've tied on here. I've tied on them.
And I'm just going to say New Brunswick. It's Balmoral, Balmoral, New Brunswick. 506-826-9000. They're open in the evenings and on Saturday. Website northshoreflyshop.ca. Facebook at North Shore Fly Shop. Where are we at on shares?
In like the mid 180s.
Okay. So it doesn't look like we'll get to the 325, which is cool.
What would be your like line and leader setup when you're swinging that?
On this one, the two little ones, I would probably throw those on the 2-3 weight, which is set up with it's a 210 grain Skagit head. I would probably throw a 10-foot Mo light with a 2.5-foot sink, 7.5-foot float, or a 5-foot sink, 5-foot float. That's a little much for a 2-8. And for a leader, it would be a about 4 feet long, tapered down to like 4, at maybe 3, maybe 4x, depending on the water clarity.
Terry just sent me a voice message, so let's hear how we say that town.
Okay.
Balmoral.
Balmoral, New Brunswick, if you
Okay.
heard it.
Balmoral.
So, Balmoral, there you go.
Wait.
New Brunswick. So,
But,
any other questions?
no, just a lot of great patterns tonight. And
Thank you. Thank you all. A lot of nice work, a lot of great patterns. Yeah, I'm kind of stuck on these swing bugs. I like tying them. I like fishing them. It's kind of like my new my new passion, if you will. I haven't really tied a lot of anything else lately. If you look, you can't really see it, but my whole granite base is full of micro intruders and little swing bugs and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I got an easy tilt on this camera.
Yeah. Is anyone in the Chicago area that sells the Nor-vise? As of right now, no. I do not believe we have anybody in the area. You can always order off the website, and we ship every day, literally every day. My wife is going to freak tomorrow when she gets up. We're going to have to stay down here and pack some of this stuff because she's going to, yeah.
Oh, was there additional news for the final 16? The additional news was the T-shirts and the stickers that are going out to all the March Madness tires.
And that's going out to everybody. Everybody who was in the contest is going to get a T-shirt and a decal sticker, whatever you want to call it.
So, and what was the category again for people that may have missed it?
It is redfish or red drum. So a fly that you would use to catch a redfish.
Brian Kosminski said soon for Chicago.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Brian is our new sales rep for Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois.
Yeah,
so I have total confidence he will be setting up a shop in Chicago very soon.
Yeah, he's our new Midwestern sales rep, and we're kind of handicapping him because we just signed him as a rep, and then we just sold out of a bunch of stuff, and things aren't happening as fast as they used to as far as getting the product in. So if you look, it's like we had some stuff that was sold out, and we just got it in, and we got all that back up to speed, and then we sold out of a bunch of other stuff. But I will say this, I just put something in place that we should never sell out of our highest moving items again.
Yeah,
so
we're selling more than normal, and the machine shops are taking longer than
Yeah.
normal, and those two things do not go hand
Yep.
in hand.
And like I said, this and it's my company. It's the company that I manage. I can't even get my own stuff through there. I had to bump one of my own jobs for another customer, and it just infuriated me the other day. But I had to do it, so we'll get through
Chris
it.
Dugan asked if we have a spring shad season up here.
Oh, we have a killer spring shad season.
That's like my favorite thing
Yeah.
to sing for.
Hickory shad and Americans. The Americans are not as plentiful as the hickories. This pattern would work great for a and we will fish
Actually,
light.
yeah,
We
for
will
a
fish
beetle,
light
let's fish it.
two-handers for hickory. Well, it's got lead underneath it, so it doesn't need a bead.
Yeah, the two colors. Or we could do the Hackle a different color.
Do the hackle of different colors, fine. But yeah, we've got a killer shad season. When it's on and they're in and it's a good migration, triple digits is your goal, and it's an obtainable goal to catch 100 fish in a morning or in an evening. So yeah, but they're migrating fish, so it all depends on the migration.
When will you have the bobbins back on the website?
Hopefully by the end of this week. That was one of those items that we've put something in place that we should not have this issue again. And here's what's happened. And I'll be straight honest with you. We're selling product at a clip that we and I don't believe Norm has ever seen. And these things that we're doing on Sunday nights are helping. The advertising that we're doing is helping. The podcast, all the stuff is helping, and we're selling product, which is what we want to do. The problem is with COVID and with people being stuck at home for a long time, our sales are much higher than they were at this time last year. Again, that's a good thing. The challenge is when we're adding dealers to the fold, and we've added 3 sales reps within the last couple of weeks, and they've opened up a bunch of shops. So dealer orders are not, 1 vise and 1 bobbin. It's 5 vices and 30 bobbins, or 10 vices and 40 bobbins, and that's the kind of stuff that the dealers are buying, which is good. We just found ourselves in a position where we just can't react fast enough. Had it been normal times and non-COVID and all of the manufacturing wasn't as busy as it normally is, we wouldn't be out of anything. it's kind of, like Tyler said, we're selling things faster and it's taking longer to get things from the shops, even the shop that I manage. So we've got a few things that we're out of.
This batch of bobbins typically would have lasted us till mid-April to mid-May, depending on how sales went. If we had show season.
That's with shows.
Yeah, we did not have show season, and we ran out the first week of March.
Yep.
Which is fantastic, but absolutely insane.
Yeah, it just makes it's very hard to predict and buy and that kind of stuff. So just bear with us. We're working on it. Everything is in play. It's all going to go back up on the website. Just give us a week or two to get this stuff all figured out. All right.
So,
any other questions? There's a lot of is watching. Poor man's salmon. Actually, shatter, poor man's tarpon is what we call them, because they look and they act like a little tarpon.
They jump like crazy.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we appreciate it. I'll go back and look through the comments and answer anything if we have to later tonight. And thank you guys for being with us. Who is on? Oh, Grant is on next week.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know what he's going to be tying. He's doing the demo with us down at South River. So yeah, we'll be with him all weekend, and then he'll be on the live Sunday night. So don't know what he's tying, but it's Grant, so it's going to be good. So tune in next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a good week.